Welcome in, everybody. We are catching up to live time, and there's probably going to be a lot of action that we speed through here. I think these teams are in feudal, maybe even early Castle Age at this point in time. So welcome in. We've got a 3v3, more 3v3 qualifier action for the League 3v3 event. And we've got Onimaru, one of their 3 teams here in the north. This Barbetacos team was second place in the last 3v3 tournament. They weren't Onimaru at that point, but we've got Dogal here, Brazilian legend as the Georgians. Here you got Kingston on the front, a player from Mexico playing as the Shoe. And then you got Miguel back here playing as the Vikings. They're up against Ryutaku, who I'm not super familiar with. 2K3 player, apparently. Very solid. Then you got Blue, who I am pretty familiar with. Taiwanese players, like 19 or 20 years old. And I actually don't know. Maybe someone could translate for me and give me the information on this player. If memory serves me correctly, this might be the it's like Yukgit player who doesn't play a lot of 1v1s at all. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to actually just change this because otherwise I think I'm just not going to be able to explain to people who that is. It's a really good player, plays a lot of team games. And yeah, they're 2600 elo, though they're not extremely active in 1v1. So we'll see how that ends up panning out here. We got Celts, we got Ethiopians, and we have the Khitans over here. And you got a mix of water and land with the fishing possibilities on the sides. So you could tell that like the middle players have not prioritized any water at all. This middle player here is going to play archers with Ethiopians. This middle player is going to play archers with the Shoe. So maybe a little bit of like a meta here, as the middle players will go archers. Miguel's going to play fires on the right side against no real Navy presence whatsoever from Ryu. Ryu's going to be playing scouts, actually, which makes sense with the Khitans. And then on this side, we see fires from Yukgit. And Dogal's going to be going Hawks. And mainly full walls. I think eventually he's going to want to come in with a stable, but he just hasn't done it yet. So, again, we're going to be speeding through here. Yeah, Tres Leches, I think this originated from a tournament called Delicious World Cup, where maps were based on food. And 2 archers, actually more than 2 archers moving forward here from Blue. Always confusing when you've got a player's name that is based on a color, and then they don't actually play as that color. So apologies in advance for that. Oh, this is interesting from Miguel. Miguel goes for full stonewall here. I mean, he's not completely walled yet, but it's enough where yellow can't end up getting to him here. I was not really expecting to see a full stonewall. But that means he's going to have a free fish boom, right? So he just completely clobbers on this side, and then he takes no damage on land. The thing is, though, there should be a lot of land pressure on his pocket then. So a lot of pressure on Kingston here. But if he runs around here, this is going to be bad for Blue. And yeah, Blue is not prepared for this. And this is really bad. I think that house foundation goes down as well. So yeah, the whole wood line is going to have to be abandoned. Meanwhile, so still some big pressure on Kingston, but his team feeling pretty good. I mean, on this side, we've got a competitive water situation that I think Red will probably win. And the Navy's actually coming through the middle, which I forgot you can do till now. The Navy's going to move to the middle and go over and help Dogal, I guess. Dogal is losing a lot there. All right. Can't you change the player color in capture age? Yeah, but it's horrible to do that for other reasons. So you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. Because player colors dictate position, so it'd be terribly confusing if you just change random colors based on player names. So just one of the things we're going to have to adapt to. Yeah, this is nice. I didn't think about this aspect, but Dogal was otherwise losing water. Now he gets some support. There's still a lot of land pressure for this ANKR team, but the water eco for Miguel should be really good. And when he's in Castle Age, he can boom. He could come in and just make longboats in the middle. Like, we're still seeing more docks from him, so I think he's just going to go full Navy this game. Who's the favorite team here? Onimaru is definitely the favorite team. I don't know what the seeds are, but this other team's they haven't been around nearly as much, but they're very strong. And they get through here with the Khitan Scouts. Dogao's taking some big losses here. And also, they have not won water. So he loses his whole wood line. And he also loses his fish. So Dogao's not really in a great position. I'm sure he'll end up like, sort of kind of dealing with this. But this is also an army that's about to be a Castle Age army as well. ANKR's 15 seed and Oni is 6 seed. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, both top 16 teams, based on the seed there. Dogao needs to clear this, and he will just clear this up in the end. Miguel's bringing his navy, though. So Red's advantage on water is going to slowly disappear. I'm curious how effective the water in the middle is going to be. Because I think for Miguel, I think that's his main role here. Is just add eco. And, like, hold the middle. And land units can come through here and snipe ships. But eventually you get to enough galleys. And the galleys are going to mop up everything here, right? So, like, these archers shouldn't be able to pass in the long run. For now, they're able to, though. And maybe they can get some damage. The light cav and the lancers, and the archers, actually, getting some good damage on Kingston as well. And Kingston's army is elsewhere at the moment. I'm not sure where it is, to be honest. Oh, Kingston's army is turning around to come back home. Man, that's some big damage. Kingston just got completely wrecked. Guys, I think that I prefer ANKR's position. I mean, look at the overall team balance here. Miguel's got this crazy position for the team. And maybe will control enough of the middle where there will be a little bit of respite from this constant raid. But, like, Dogao's not in a great spot pop-wise. Kingston's definitely not in a great spot pop-wise. But I guess they can always freely pass to the middle and access and raid the other team. Ooh, but this... Yeah, Miguel doesn't have defense. This needs to be dealt with. And yeah, Lancers are going to get through. Miguel's preemptively placing a tower in the back. And his teammates are coming over to clear this. I like the guard tower choice, though. I also like that yellow just stopped there and let purple run through. Purple's had a really good game here. What's up, Tundra Blitz? We're still speeding through this, apparently. Red still hasn't given up on water. But he's allowing yellow to pass over with another group of crossbows. Not bad, not bad, not bad. And that group of crossbows is going to hit Kingston again. And Kingston's crossbows were advancing across the middle. And he decides not to turn around because he's probably getting sick and tired of doing that. Not really sure how I felt about the Khitans in super late game. Because you don't have bloodlines. And like Lancers of 60 HP are not really going to be able to accomplish a ton against many range units. And here come the fires here from Yukit. But good teamwork from Kingston and Miguel. The Lancers are just gonna, pass over where the Allied Navy is. Eco count for ANKR is insanely high. Like, we've got a massive villager lead. And they've got all this eco stacked in the back. It's been pretty much untouched. Red's starting to get up there as well. To be honest, their civs have a lot of late game weaknesses, except for the Ethiopians. Like, Celts, not an easy late game to play in team games. Khitans maybe a bit easier than that. But I think we're about to reach this stage where these Lancers are no longer going to be able to move across the map very easily. Because this Navy is just overwhelming from Miguel. Miguel already dropping markets, already adding trade as well. Wow. Yeah, and there's just a couple goats over here. It's not any units. Yellow is going to have to defend. Only can't really move out across the middle. Imp is on the way for purple. It's one of those tricky ones in team games. Like, if you just get here, you're like, oh my god, Miguel's carrying the team. But if you think about it, like, Miguel his team fell behind because he didn't help early, right? Now, that's not Miguel's fault. It's just it's how the strategy works, right? But, like, if you full Stonewall and full Boom, then 3 people are going to be attacking your other 2 allies, which is kind of how this played out. But I think the long term, if they can get Kingston and Dogao into some big economies here, can be very strong. Because they've got so much Navy, which is super valuable on the map. And when you're in Imp is when you're allowed to send resources. So Miguel's probably just going to like full sling Kingston and Dogal back into the game. And Dogal's dropping a castle here. That's kind of risky. Imagine if purple ran through. It's a good castle, though. And yeah, if he's able to make Manaspa can be strong. Elite Step Lancers in, though. And they'll be into Dogal's eco. So they weren't really able to stop Dogal from taking more damage again. And those Lancers are destroying, man. Dogal's going to lose so many vills back here. All he can do is garrison his TCs and pray. He doesn't have any army there. Look at the eco difference. It's the 80 eco lead for ANKR. That's the heavy warships upgrade, which would be disastrous to lose here. Especially because he's probably going to fight thinking it's coming in. Oh! Oh my god, it does come in because he took the fight. Doc was on 31 HP, by the way. Obviously, as the enemy, you don't know that that's the situation. And the Lancers and the crossbows made it across over here as well. So the Navy from Miguel's not doing enough. And more raids. Crazy raids. Lancers are kind of instantly dying to the longboats, though. But the crossbows come through, and Kingston's eco is so bad. Dogal's eco is so bad. I think you need to get some vills over here if you're purple. Like, when you're doing this, just bring some vills and drop some buildings there. But maybe not. Like, maybe this is such a big area that you can just keep running through the ships, you know? Purple's had a crazy game. Like, Purple's been raiding everybody the entire game. There's the MTC from Kingston, who's at 71 eco now. But, yeah, blue can't be everywhere. And we even have a castle there from Yukit. That's really good decision. He's going to be an elite Woad Raider. He's dropping barracks as well to probably mix in some Halberdier. Maybe we'll make some Trebs and Rams as well. Feels like game 1 is going to go to ANKR here, guys. And spoilers, but I think the fact that we've been speeding up this whole time tells me that this game might actually be over at this point. And it's not really a spoiler if you look at the population, because there's just death everywhere for Onimaru Barbetacos. And they were too greedy with the Vikings player. This is an interesting strat, but didn't end up accomplishing enough. And that town center is going to go down. Vills are going to get slaughtered here. And Miguel is going to be left with only Navy pretty soon. He's now down to 46 Vills. And any trade that he was adding as well is also going to go down. Yeah, like Red's built up over here. Red can push Dogal. Arbs can just run right through the middle here. Okay, we're at lifetime right now, actually. But this game is super close to over. Nice opening here from ANKR. Good morning, guys. Hello. I feel like I could look somewhere other than the game for a second. What's up, Jockey? Welcome. Mr. Crazy Monkey, thank you very much. Thanks for the 9 months. I think ANKR's strats look pretty damn good here. I'm sure they put in a lot of time and energy into practicing. They clearly have the 1v1 talent based on their elos and all that. So I think the experience for Miguel, Dogal, and Kingston is going to have to kick in. But this would typically be a map that they're very solid on. Like this style map where you have Kingston and Dogal go and land. Miguel's happy to boom and play Navy. Now the game feels crazy slow. And we're like, how do we even play the game like this? They are pushing back Red over on this side. I actually think that ANKR is over booming right now. Like they have way too much eco. And so they might start to lose some fights. It's actually a throwable game because, again, I think their army is worse in the long run in terms of, like, value for pop. Every ship is slightly worse for the Celts compared to the Vikings. Every cav is slightly worse compared to the Manaspa from the Georgians. The archers for Ethiopians, I guess, a bit stronger than the Shu archers, but you just got to realize, I think they did. You just delete some Vil pop when you're adding trade and everything. It seems like they've realized that. Trade is set up in the back. There's still a lot of random pressure on Dogal that he's not going to want to deal with. He really needs to snipe this cannon galleon. It actually could be a really easy snipe. I think Red's really busy right now. Guys, Miguel's at 44 Vils. No, not even. 37 Vils. 44 eco. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. He is not in a good spot. And no one on the other side is really, like, wealthy enough to send him a lot of resources either. A shipwright even from Yukit here. It looks like Sarge is eco and imp. Sarge, I've seen your games, man. Your eco is better than 42 villagers at this stage, to be honest. Even in a community game where someone boomed you early. This is bad. Manaspas are on the way. I'd like to see them maybe try and get the Manaspas into the back, but it does feel like there's going to be fortifications there eventually. There's actually not many castles through the middle right now for this team, so... You've never watched my ranked Eco T90. Oh, that's true. That's true. Listen, I was trying to give you props, and now you're just reinforcing that you think you're bad. So, I tried, man. But I guess I'll just have to take your word for it. Yeah, you don't want my props. All right, fair. I mean, 180 population lead. They just got to break Dogao here. They've got to use this position to break Dogao. I think a really indecisive situation for Red. Like, I've been waiting for 4 Trebs for a long time. But it doesn't really matter. The Lancers are going to get into Miguel's eco to make things even worse. And they also don't have much Navy presence anymore. And they tap out and call the GG. All right. So yeah, the TLDR on this game is, like, the long story short, as we kind of did a casting version of that, far too risky, apparently, to have one player not really end up going for the land presence. But, you know, I could see the idea. I don't think it was a bad strat. Miguel had a big lead for a while. He was hoping the Navy would contribute. But, like, Purple just did such a good job. I'll double-check the eco KD. Purple killed 256 eco this game. What? 256. He lost 33. That's crazy eco KD. Like, every time I looked, he was just running Lancers into someone's base. We never looked at Purple's eco, except for the one time that I had, like, you know, that dedicated effort to just glance at this eco to see what he was doing behind it. There was no legitimate reason for us to look back at his base. He was never under pressure. And yeah, he played it super, super well. GG. Game 2, we're casting this from the beginning here. And so the game 1, I think, could be added in, should have been added in to the YouTube extras set, to be honest, because we basically saw the whole game. I thought ANKR had a great setup there. The strategy wasn't necessarily poor for the Barbetacos team, but as I said in between the games, I think Barbetacos really wants to win these combination maps, these hybrid maps, and they lost the first one, so they'll need to turn it around. We've got Dogao. I'm going to consider this the front, guys, because on this map, you only have one side where the land is connected. So Dogao's on the front row playing as the Armenians. And the green, we have Miguel playing the pocket, playing as the Huns. And then in the back row, we have Kingston. Kingston's playing as the Wu. But again, on this side, Kingston does not have that land connect to connect over here to the other team. So here we've got Ryu. Ryu had a great first game. It was an incredible game with... Doesn't have the Lancers and the Khitans this time, but it's playing as the Malay. In the yellow, we've got Yukit. Yukit's playing as the Berbers. And then in the red, we've got Blue playing as the Jurchens. None of the picks from the ANKR team make me feel as though they're going to prioritize super heavy water long term. Like Jurchens, I think land units. Berbers, I think land units. Actually, I take it back. Malay's the one exception. Malay is the one civ, especially in this position. They have great naval bonuses. So I would expect you're going to have some Navy. Now, where you end up docking is kind of important. Fish is everywhere on this map. And there's whales. So last I checked, there's like 12 to 15,000 gold of just whales on the map, which is an insane amount of gold. Yeah, 16k. So winning water gives you gold and food value. Dock in the back from Miguel. And we've got a dock kind of to the side from Kingston, which is interesting. We don't have any docks in the middle for Team Barbetacos. Because we also have the dock over here from Dogao. Meanwhile, we have all 3 players docking the middle for ANKR. And we've got a pause here, so. I mean, I could see lands making a lot of sense for the Berbers player, playing like heavy stable units with the stable unit discount. You've got a little bit of protection because you've got your teammate on the front. I don't know if the map scripter for this tournament is out there, but I've found on this map that there can be generations like this far too frequently. Like, look, this is like a full wood wall. And so it just feels like could be a really big imbalance. Like look at this generation. We've got this massive wood wall. So blue's like kind of almost fully walled. And then gold is like super far in the back. You look here at Dogao, super open, and then his gold is really forward. So I think there could be a little bit of variance there. Ultimately, you do have this gold to fall back to, I guess, if you're Dogao. But sometimes the giant wood walls can actually hurt you a little bit. Because if your opponent, let's say your army's here, and then your opponent comes over here, and then you go to chase them, and then they're on the other side of your wood line again. It's like the wood is too large at times to actually benefit you. It depends on how the army momentum goes. There's the barracks from Dogao. He does know about that back gold. You could just delete the house. Yeah, but it's the same problem, right? Like, the wood line can be really problematic to chase units down. Obviously, you can delete the house. And yellow's still not on the way to feudal age. So we just have 1 player on the way to feudal age for this team. Interesting. So it's going to be blue, and I assume blue's going to just go with some scouts, which the Jerson's very good at. And scouts here from Dogao, waiting. He's going to go for militia, and yeah, definitely opening with man-at-arms. Armenians can get longsword, too. But I wonder what the scouting was like from this team. See, they never really had the time to scout and see where the docks were. They might be somewhat assuming that the docks are in the middle. Like, actually, this fishing ship is looking to see if there's a dock now. But, yeah, the dock off to the side here. I mean, I like this spot from Kingston because he can go to the back if he needs to. And if he can go to the middle. And he obviously has his own fish. That's actually really smart. I wonder if this is the best play. Because also, with this position, you block player 6 from being able to get back to your guy's fish. Damn! I never thought dock positions would get me this excited. This is really smart. Again, you can still play water offensively for the middle. You can easily play water offensively to the outside without nearly the journey, right? Like, if you docked over here, it's a much longer journey to get to the outside. And then you're also always blocking for your pockets fish. Damn, that's amazing. I think that's where you should dock on the flank, the more I think about it. Do you need the outside, though? Well, that's the thing. They don't know right now, right? So they don't know where the fish are. Because it's been a relatively short game so far. So it's this easy passage to either area. That's pretty cool. Nice micro here from Blue and from Yukit. And they're just working together here. And they'll kill 2 villagers from Miguel. Look at that nerdy micro there. That's sick. They might even kill another one. Miguel is not planning on dealing with any of that. He actually built the stable at the front. And units are over here from Dogao trying to break through. But nice walling from Yellow as well. Pretty much fully walled before these units get here. Dogao didn't end up getting the longsword upgrade. Purple's fish are protected for now, but Purple sees the pressure. There was a fire going to the back, and the fire's still moving there from Kingston. There's no fish back there, though, so that fire is kind of a waste. But again, he just doesn't know. Double stable from Miguel. I mean, Miguel's got his fish blocked off, and Miguel's going to be fishing like a madman. Which Yellow probably can't justify as much, right? Like, if you know that there's pressure from Kingston in the middle, you probably can't justify fishing as heavily. And Kingston is having a really smart game so far. Kingston's going to move because they scouted this dock and go immediately to the fish. And yeah, Yellow's not prepared to have to defend the fish. So I think even though Miguel lost the vills, Miguel is living a free fish life back here. And he's completely blocked off by his ally on both sides. So I like the position for this team. Scouts are going to come forward for Miguel. Fishing ships are not working as much as Yukit would want. He's gone fast castle here, but he doesn't have a lot of food economy to work with. And I think it's really on Ryu here. Like, Ryu cannot be allowing that pressure to hit the pocket. He's got to recover for the team a little bit. And looks like he's starting to do so. I love this stuff. Like, the positional stuff, that's the stuff that gets me excited, right? Like, if you consider AoE 2 chess, these types of maps are really complicated. They're probably going to end up losing this game now, but I really think that Kingston's dock positions match everything else super nicely. Like, imagine if player 6 had docked built up here and was just holding the choke. Then the other guys wouldn't be receiving this much pressure, right? Archers for Dugout. I like this. Just kind of bypassing blue. Blue scouts I haven't really looked at too much. To be honest, I think this is now the second time that army is passing blue and it's getting to yellow. It just makes yellow's game so much more difficult. I don't think this is what you really want from your flank. I think you would have expected blue. Maybe the communication's there on their voice comms, but you kind of expect him to deal with that. But it is two players making army. You've got Dogao and Miguel making army. And we saw the fast castle get pressured in the previous game. Yellow's fast castle's kind of getting pressured this game as well. Calling the red player blue keeps confusing me. Yeah, it's confusing, and I hate it as well, but I can't really do anything about it. We talked about that at the start of the stream as well. Blue will never play blue the entire series, and in this case is playing against blue. So yeah. Even back when like yellow would call himself, like Say My Name would call himself yellow, he never played in the yellow. Not once. He always played in other colors. I think the feudal age times between Kingston and Ryu are going to decide if blue have, or rather, sorry, if ANKR have a way of coming back in the game. Because they're behind big time right now. Miguel's been able to track the scouts. Miguel's got some scouts over here. And if Kingston wins water here, Kingston kills 3 players fish. Meanwhile, Miguel's got 23 fishing ships in the back, freely taking every resource that you could really want back there, and there's no risk that he's going to lose it. But you guys are understanding some of the continuity complaints that I was saying in between the games, right? We've got Team ANKR, but only one of the players is actually listed as Team ANKR, and the others are listed on another team. And then you got a player who's not in the blue, named Blue. This is what I'm talking about. You guys understand me more now. I just don't like lack of continuity. And only one dock here from purple. I think ANKR's in big trouble. Look at Miguel's economy right now. 25 fishing ships and still queuing more freely because he can, no problem. That's insane. The scouts for blue are not going to accomplish much at all. His 10 fishing ships are here and easily snipeable at any point in time. I think blue's trying to find some fish, but he doesn't realize there's no real fish in the middle. And yeah, what a bounce back here from Onimaru Barbetacos, man. What a bounce back. I mean, your timing here, the timing they do have is this little window where yellow's been able to get some knights forward because Miguel couldn't make any knights until now. But Miguel, you wouldn't stonewall like this in a closer game because you need the stone for town centers. But he's like, you know what? As long as I don't die, I'm fine. I just stonewall now. He's got 3 stables to produce some knights. Has lots of spears around as well. I think maybe he loses a villager or 2, but he should be more than fine to defend there. And now he could spam knights. Kingston, he's in Castle Age now. And now the Navy can move in. And yeah, blue can't fish. Blue is relying on making food units. Crossbows are just going to walk on through from Dogao. He's in Castle Age as well. This is exactly what you want. Like, as the team who's, what, 6th seed or the favorites, you just want to remind the underdogs, like, yeah. Okay, you got us in the first game, but, like, this is what we're capable of. Remind yourselves as well, too. Like, maybe you had an off game. Maybe you're doubting yourself. I don't think that this Barbetacos team thinks they're invincible by any means. But this is just an absolute slaughter. And so much of it, guys, is because of the way they played their dock positions. Like, the docks in the back were really, really wise. Combined with Kingston pressuring from here. If Kingston docked the middle, ships could have gotten through to Miguel, and Miguel could have had to question whether or not he could fish boom. But it was very structured, very easy. I think if I'm having yellow go fast castle, I'd never dock the middle. Right? Like, you'd always dock the back. But I think he thought that purple would protect his fish. And that's why he did what he did. They were like, if we all stay together, then player 6 protects all of our fish. Didn't end up happening. So why are there so many Onimaru teams? Because they have a crap ton of players, would be the answer. They have a lot of players, so they've got 3 teams. 73 economy for Miguel, 2 town centers. He'll switch into the farms on the back of the 28 fishing ships. The knights are going to be spamming forward. Really tough situation for blue now. He's banking on yellow protecting him here. This is where Jerchins feel awkward in team games because you can't make knights with them. So the scouts, they're great. But if you're in a situation now where you're up against knights and you can't make your own knights, it's very, very awkward. You can't lose if you're all the teams. True. Damn, why didn't they think of that? They should have signed every single player and guaranteed that they would win the final. Ooh, hold up. Okay, so I've given Kingston a lot of props this game. He never expected player 6 to come back on water here. Miguel's fish could be in trouble. Miguel's queuing up some hulks right now. He has a lot of fish trap investment back here. I think they've already got such a nice lead that it probably might not matter all that much. But yeah, this is like, Miguel's probably like, oh man, Kingston, are you kidding me, bro? And Kingston is going to jump on this and try and like slow it down from getting any worse. Also, Red got some good raids in under here. But that's a lot of Hawks coming through as well. And Miguel doesn't have the upgraded Hawks either. So, yeah, Miguel's fish might be disrupted. He is going to just sail away with a couple fishing ships. But, guys, I mean, blue is kind of dead. Oh, big shot. Rocket cart needs to get another hit. Okay, that's okay. Castle's on the way up. There's still a rocket cart in there. There's a lot of knights in support from yellow. Yellow actually has more HP. If this castle gets denied, this is still a game. Oh man, that's a perfect timing on that. A little frustrating here for Miguel and Dogao because he thought you had the game. But one final little push back here. Yellow's done a nice job, by the way. It's a lot of town centers, so lost the fish, but has a very strong economy. But I don't think they're going to give up on this castle yet. On the water, still 25 fishing ships for Miguel. Kingston's still here. But player 6 as well, still very solid eco. Again, I'm impressed at their recovery. Usually you lose the fish, and then you have big problems here. But Blue's got... Blue, who's here in the red, 43 pop. And then Dogao, the actual blue, over 100 population here. So blue is pretty dead. And there's no easy recovery from this right now. That's just a fishing ship from purple. So I guess everything that purple had navy-wise in the back also got cleared up. And Kingston continues to grind down these docks and push the choke point here. Yeah, that's going to be, I think, the second dock lost in the last couple moments. If I'm Dogao, I just delete this. Just delete this. Get the stone back. Place a defensive castle. You don't need the forward castle. Yeah, there you go. Just drop it at home. You're on the way to Imperial Age. Wait for your upgrades. Yep, that's the way to play it. Like, if this map goes on for a very long time, this castle's just perfect to have. And Kingston able to recenter himself and realize, like, oh, okay, apparently I need to go for a big navy. I think he thought that purple would just got to give up on water there, so. Pronounce the V, T90? It's supposed to say Is that how I'm supposed to pronounce that? I don't know. How is that supposed to be said? Vowels don't work that way, dude. Vowels don't work like that. Believe? Ah, yeah, but there's you've added characters now. I just switched the V to a U, which is the intended purpose anyways. You're doing something entirely different. It's funny, I almost joked, I'm like, it'd be funny if his name was Bruh. But there's actually a player named Bruh. He doesn't play tournaments anymore. Because he's one of the devs testing the game, but Bruh is actually an amazing player. Okay, Dogao might just want to chase this down. Yellow's got a lot of knights back there. And you don't want this to hit Miguel. Miguel might not necessarily be able to do this on his own. I think they know red is pretty dead at this point, so it's just annoying to have to run back with crossbows because your units are so slow. But we said yellow would want to win the game through Castle Age spam, and those cheap knights have certainly done a lot so far. Dogao can't house wall or anything. There's a hole there, bro. There we go. Units still sitting here for Dogao, so I'm wrong. I think he's going to push with Trebs, actually. And he's building another castle over here as well. A T90, did you have any other nickname before T90? Do you mean as a content creator, or do you mean as, like, just a gamer in general? I had some pretty crap usernames throughout my life. When I started my channel, it was T90XVI, because I just added some random Roman numerals, because you know when you'd play the AI, it'd be like King Charles the 17th or whatever. I thought it'd be really cool to, like, have a couple Roman numerals in there. I didn't think about the exact number or anything. I just went with T90XVI. And then when I started to get a couple views, I was like, well, that's very random and confusing. So let's just think of something else. And I debated a lot. I was like, do we do T90 Empires? Like, what do we do? In the end, I just went with official. The official's kind of a bait. It wasn't very official. I could be official, but it ended up working out. So. And no, I did not name myself after a Russian tank. I found out later that it was a tank. I didn't realize. I didn't do any Googling whatsoever with this T90 thing. I didn't realize that people were going to consistently ask me or assume that I was named after a tank. The T90 is also not my first name, which is Tristan, and my birth year, which other people also assume. Yellow did a lot this game. Yellow had a great game. Like, we just watched this whole army come all the way over here. Miguel had to chase everything. Like, that was really annoying. But there's also castle drops here from Kingston. And that's some good pressure here on purple, who will be an imp to maybe trap this down. But I just think red is dead over on this side. Like, red is super out of the game. And purple will be an imp to maybe make some trebs. But, like, purple doesn't have very good navy control. Purple doesn't have many vills. Purple will pretty much only have trebs. And Miguel's going to be on the way to imp with a very solid economy still. One of my gamer tags, guys. My first gamer tag ever. This was not... Well, actually, hold on. It wasn't a gamer tag. Type a 1 in chat if you were ever on AOL Instant Messenger. So it's my first AIM account. So it wasn't gaming. I loved soccer, right? That was my thing. So my name was Soccer Number 1. Because soccer was number 1 in my mind. But that was already taken, too. So it had, like, really weird spelling. But yeah, that was my first creative username. Very impressive. Navy actually got back here from Ryu, but that's going to get found. Kingston still got a crazy Navy here. Trying to think of other usernames I had. Oh, also, my first PlayStation account was #1 Man United fan. All caps. So embarrassing. #1 Man United fan. Like, present day me would be like, dude, lay off the caps lock. But yeah, that was my other name. Eventually, we got to T90, which I guess is not nearly as bad as some of the other ones. Oh, wow. This got petarded down. Kingston took down that castle, so Purple's Trebs won't be protected anymore. And that was maybe their only way back into this game. That and the Cavalier power spike here from Yellow. But Blue is getting trebbed and castle dropped nonstop. I think this tower over here from Red was what was focusing down these vills. But if the tower's down and that villager quick walls real quick, the castle will actually complete. That's the 4th castle from Dogal, who's just going full composite bowman right now. You know what's funny is the people who are laughing the most at my usernames right now are maybe the people who also have present day relatively weird usernames. It's like they know. They're like, oh, he's like me. He's like me. Stupid usernames. You guys are going to be all offended now, but... Did Yellow lose that castle? No, I think he deleted it. But he deleted it because he's probably going to lose it. He's going to lose this one to Trebs. That's a big mess over here. Cavalier from Yellow do go this way. Kingston doesn't even need this pressure, though. Like, Kingston can lose this, and Kingston can just hold the Navy for his team. This Navy's stuck in the back. He just needs to loop around the sides into the middle, and you can use cannon galleons and dominate. And, well, nice bounce back game there from Onimaru. That's a good game. Guys, I don't know if I've ever been this impressed with dock positions. I'm super about this. Be prepared, you regulars, for me to touch on this every single time we see this map. I'm going to talk about it all the time. It's really smart. Because what I've seen people have players dock the back like this, right? And then the player who's on the flank would dock here, right? Dock the middle. But the thing is, then ships can always get around, and they can always sneak back into the back and hit your pockets fish. So his mere presence here is awesome. Now, at this point in time, Kingston didn't know where the opponents were necessarily docked when he built these docks, right? So when he finds out, if it's on the back, super easy to get to, super accessible, you can pressure there. If it's in the middle, super easy to get to. So you block your pocket, and you can get to the front or the back position, whatever's required. That's really good. I thought that was awesome. I think every player in this position should dock here now. The only thing is that you have maybe slightly worse fish, but there's still so many. It's not like there's that many more in the middle. It's still a pretty long journey to get out there, so. GG. Regicide Fortress, let's go. We got 3v3 action again. And we've got the Onimaru team hoping to get another win in a row here. This is the map that I think Barbetacos is probably the weakest on. We've got Dogal playing on the flank as the Vietnamese. Pocket then for Miguel is the Lithuanians. And then the other flank is Kingston playing as the Teutons. Interesting decision to go Teutons on the flank. I've not seen that one before. Over here, we've got Blue playing as the Turks. Players are going to be using their scouts to bring in their boars, and then they'll heal up their scouts inside the castles. We got Khmer pocket here for Ryu. And then in the red, as the kings are just passing each other over here, the red, it is Yukit playing as the Chinese. And Chinese are just ridiculous because in a standard game, you can't produce vills with Chinese because you have negative food, or zero food, sorry. But with Regicide start, you start with extra res. So you always maintain that 3 villager lead. And Chukanu is a pretty good unit to produce out of the castle. So Chinese, just a really solid civ. So I really like the civs here for ANKR. This is going to be kind of complicated here for Onimaru. I do think that Rats and Archers is an insane play here. Vietnamese are really good. So long term, probably having Ratans is maybe a bit better than Chukunu. Lithuanians can go for their Paladin, of course. But, of course, then the Khmer can go for their Elephants. It's the north that's weird. I guess the Teuton player is going to want to play, like, Siege and Haubs. Teutons don't really... You're not going to see Teutonic Knights, guys. Sorry, but not sorry. And if the Turks player can pressure with lots of gunpowder, it could be a problem. Like, even just early Imperial Age, it could be a problem, so... T90, I put your stream on the speaker. My puppy started sleeping. Aw. What type of doggo do you have? I'm getting to the point I really want a dog, man. But also, I recognize that dogs are a lot of work and energy and stuff. And I don't know if it's the right time. I can tell you it's definitely not the right time. But one of these days. It's a Labrador Golden Mix. Ah, okay. I'm kind of a sucker for labs. But more so black labs. Because my uncle and my brother have black labs. Yeah, the cats won't love the whole getting a dog thing. That's for sure. I think one of our cats would be completely fine with it. Like she is fine if we have people come over or there's anything changes, like she's all about it. She has no problems. Our other cat though is like super anxiety boy. That's his superhero name. And he's got a lot of human emotions. Just full array, right? And I think I mean he's also older as well. He's like 9 now or whatever. Getting a dog would not do too well for him. Maybe we'd have to get a puppy, but then puppies are like so much more work, you know? Mythic says, depending on the breed, they need different, very different amounts of work and attention. Yeah, exactly. And of course, the other type of dog that I really had a good relationship with growing up, our close family friends had a German Shepherd. I love that dog, dude. There's so many photos where we would dog stay with that dog, and I'm just napping with... The dog's name was Lawrence. Oh, such a great dog. Anyways, German Shepherds are just apparently a ton of work. And you know the other type of dog that I really want is a Border Collie. And again, Border Collies, tons of work. Or Australian Shepherd. Like any of those dogs that have like shepherding instincts need so much exercise. It's so much activity. So I don't know if you guys are dog people at all, but it's Regicide Fortress. They're not going to make much army. They're just going to boom. So King is actually going over here. So Dogal has put his king inside Miguel's tower. Kings are going to hang out. But yeah, I think maybe Dogal's doing that now so he doesn't forget later if he starts to get pressured here. Bongo says, I have a Border Collie mix. They are work for sure. Yeah. Makes sense. I'll tell you a story. So I grew up in a small town. Like a country town, right? And Back the Valley, as we said, was one of my friends. And they lived on like the side of this like big hill or mountain. And they had goats. And so they had like this big pen on the side of the mountain with these 2 goats. And then their dad would let the goats out into their backyard because he didn't want to mow the grass. And the goats would just like eat the grass if it was high. But of course, there's the risk that these goats could just like go anywhere because they're outside the fence, right? And they had a sheepdog, or former sheepdog, and I think the story was like this dog basically got kicked out of like sheep herding school because he would go up to strangers and want to be pet, right? So like still had the instincts, but didn't have the work ethic to stick with it. And anyways, this dog's name was Sally. And at any point in time, no matter what was happening, you would just say, Sally, goats. And Sally would just go from either inside, outside, whatever, and just go and make sure those goats were in the pen. Like, it would do it all, right? Wouldn't need any human. And these goats were, like, huge. So, fair warning, this is, like, kind of a sad story, but also kind of an epic story at the same time, right? So, like, my whole life, I remember, like, Sally, goats, boom, Sally would take the goats in. Well, Sally got pretty old, right? So Sally was up there in age, I don't know, like 12 or 13 or whatever. And we're on their back deck, which is 2 stories up above the yard, okay? Because they're on the side of a mountain. And just one day, like they'd said hundreds of times before, they said Sally goats. And Sally just had a brain fart. And Sally's like, oh, goats? And Sally jumps off the picnic table, off the double-layer deck. Because the goats were right at the bottom. So Sally's like, oh, goats? Woof. Just yeets herself off the deck. Lands. Unfortunately, like, breaks her poor little leg. But got the goats in there within 30 seconds with a broken leg. No problem. Not upset about it. Whatever. And, yeah, and then, the dog had to get its leg fixed and whatnot. But Sally's a legend for that. I'll never forget that dog. That dog just... It was like Air Bud or something, just yeeting itself off the deck. But yeah, like, kind of a sad story, but also like kind of epic. You know, it goes down to the Sally lore at the end of the day. Third TC's a little late here, I think. I was zoned out, but at this town center should be much... Oh, no, this is the 4th TC. Okay, never mind. So... I was going to say, if this was the 3rd town center time, this would be really bad. Vil lead is really nice for red. 4 TC timing. Now is around the time when you would start to make some Chukunu, and you would start to think about building up to a forward castle on the front to pressure Dogao. A big TC count over here as well. We're going to see 4th TC. Miguel also going for the 4th TC. T90, so is an insect an animal or not? Apparently insects are animals, but I still maintain that that's weird. And my fiance still maintains that I'm stupid for thinking that's weird. But no, we did confirm it. We did look it up. It is true. Lycav actually killed villagers here. I wonder if it killed a monk as well. I feel like, yeah, it must have killed a monk and then a villager. Nice value there from Blue's Lycav. Not bad at all. Oh, man, Miguel. Dude, I'd be so annoyed right now. You lose 2 vills, you lose a monk bringing in a relic, all to 1 Lycav. It might be another villager as well. Eject the king as a distraction. Okay, villager goes down. I guess he got through because he had deleted part of this wall here. Miguel's not having a great game. I'm seeing idols. The boom's not super clean. But Miguel is a little rusty compared to his gameplay of the past. Does T90's wife have a PhD? So she's my fiance. She's finishing up her PhD. When we're married, she will have a PhD. And that's not because I said, I refuse to marry someone without a PhD. I know that's how it sounds. That's just how the timing is, though. She'll have her PhD, and then very shortly after, we'll be married. Yeah, I decided very early on in life that since I'm so stupid, I'm like, I gotta marry someone who's educated, you know? PhD in what? PhD with handling idiots, aka me. Being able to manage the chaos that is living with me. But no, she marine biology. And she's killing it right now, so. Yeah, so this is going to be similar on both sides. You'll have the gunpowder come out on this side to take a little bit of map control. Maybe try and control the hill. And then just push early imp. And then on this side... Whoa. Yeah, I mean, it is similar on both sides, but it's reversed. I expected some army presence here from red, but he didn't. He went for a 5th TC. And now there's a castle from Dogao that is going between both town centers. Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure you're about to receive. That really hurts. We've got 15 vills here that pretty much need to leave. And then we got these vills that might not be able to leave. So Dogao's 20 vills behind, but I think that's maybe worth it if you're disrupting 30. And also rats and archers are the key, and he's on the way to imp. What went wrong here for red? I think red just went way too greedy. Chinese should always have the faster imp here. And the weakness would be is if you lose a little bit of map control and just got way too crazy with the boom. That's really good for Onimaru. Yeah, like those imp resources could have been there a long time ago if not for the 5th TC. And now we have a Desperation Castle. Now, this is a fine castle to place if you're ahead in imp. But considering they're not ahead to the Imperial Age, that could be an easy target for Dogao. And, I mean, what this means as well as the castle... Oh, God, that's his imp TC? Complete and utter collapse from red over here. Oh, my God. I mean, he might end up making it to imp. Realistically, I think this castle will be the target. But, like, jeez, man. And this castle's denied as well. On the other side, Kingston was trying to get some random walls up. The gunpowder hasn't really stayed in the middle there. And Kingston will have a nice uptime. Kingston dropping Siege Workshop. So it feels to me like he's just going to play Siege. But imagine Yellow. Like, Yellow wanted to get for his massive boom and probably play in towards, like, Elephants. But now Yellow has to make Knights because he's hearing so much on voice about how Red is struggling here. It is true. You don't want to produce villagers from here anymore. So if you don't want to produce vills from this TC anymore and you can make it to imp here, it's actually not too bad. Still, though, I would never go imp in that TC because it's just too risky. Maybe Red applied some logic to it, though, and it was fine. Can they do anything against Dogao's Trebs? Yellow also didn't go imp. Like, Yellow went Castle Age Knights to give Red support in this area. Which is so uncommon. And just bad for them. Like, they really needed Yellow to just freely get to imp. Amazing play from Dogao. Seriously. And now, as this TC is barely going to make to imp, he just gets to pressure this castle. And if Red's plan was Shukunu, this is going to be tough. Yellow's going to dive in. Yellow doesn't have a single armor upgrade? Oh, no. What is going on, guys? They're struggling here. Not even one armor upgrade on the Knights. General Patton George gifting more subs than there are armor upgrades for this team right now. Thank you, man. And of course, you just continue to have this awkward situation where you run out of stone because you have to repair. So it means you can't build more, and then you're going to lose more, and it snowballs very quickly. Here comes Miguel. How many relics did Miguel get? Miguel got 3 relics, so he'll have +3 attack on top of whatever upgrades he has. He will see that Red ends up building a castle over here. But that castle's down. The TC will go down. This castle's going to fall as well for Red. And what's his army going to be? Meanwhile, we've got... Oh, I was wrong. We have a Teutonic Knight on the field. T90 ETKs. Let's go. I think the emote as well is a teal Teutonic Knight. And I don't forget don't remember the reason why. But we've got it. We've got the cape. Leading the charge. Yeah, it's going to be crenellations for the castle for some crazy range. And Kingston's actually getting a little bit of a push going here. This is not how I expected it to go. I thought Chinese would push. I thought Turks would be pushing. I think Purple's units went to the middle and didn't hold that area. Because I don't see how you easily get that castle up otherwise. 9 Chukunu for Red. In Imp, 9 Chukunu and 1 castle. And that castle is separate from your base. At least they're going to be elite Chukunu soon. And they will be elite battle elephants soon for yellow. So Dogao doesn't have the biggest army either. It's 25 Ratans. Oh man, Dogao's dropping another castle. Dogao's castles have been so good. Now yellow gets pushed away from this area. This is such an annoying game. And now the Trebuchet as well gets sniped by Dogao. Yikes. I think Rams are actually moving to the middle to take down Red's castles. He does have 2 there now. I mean, Purple doesn't pose a threat to Kingston, so... It doesn't pose a threat to Kingston yet. Kingston got crenellations, but he can't range the bombard cannons yet because he doesn't have Fletching and Bodkin. So if Fletching's on the way, that castle needs to be repaired. Yellow's recovered nicely. He lost a couple knights, but he does have fully upgraded battle elephants soon. But red's still the worry, especially if Rams and Trebs start to come in this way. So they're going this way, which is kind of random, but a little chaotic. And chaos isn't necessarily bad. Speaking of chaotic, red's going to attempt a castle here. Oh, God. Man, this is just like one of those games where I would really hope that no one was casting this. Like, this is rough for red. It's actually painful for me as the caster to show it to people. I feel really bad. Okay, now Bodkin's in, I think. So with Bodkin in, this castle... Oh, no, it doesn't range the bombard cannons because they're Turk bombard cannons. So, nice pushback for purple, maybe. To be fair, I mean, red is really stacking up castles. I don't know where they've gotten the stone from, but they're starting to make some progress here. But maybe I spoke too soon because the castle actually gets denied, and there's just so many paladins from Miguel. There's so many Rattan archers from Dogal. I do think Dogal's struggled with the production a little bit. I think maybe he's focused a little down here. Maybe that's the downside of those castles being so far away. He will maybe lose this castle too, but as I say it, he's repairing it and keeping it up. And now blue's got the elite janissaries starting to push. And this is actually where Turk should always win, up here. But if Miguel and Dogal can win the other side ahead of time, it might not matter. Still think red can recover and just get to more Chukanus and more castles. They maybe have the better civs here. Though we've yet to see Dogal at a high amount of Rattan archers. Yeah, paladins for Miguel are going to have to go this way now. They're already on the way. So that means Dogal's kind of left on his own. He is trebbing this castle foundation, which is denied at 85% though. And the Rattans are focusing down the Chukanu. And the Halbs and the Paladins are engaging against the Elephants. And that's going to be another castle gone, essentially, for red. But these Elephants are really strong, man. Like, Elephants are really hard to stop if you're on your own. And there's the Bombard Tower. But the Paladins, with the 3 relics, up to +6 attack. Actually, that wouldn't be 3 relics. That should be 4 relics. +6 attack. Paladins deny the towers and will kill it all. Wow, man. What a fight. They need that, though, because we're seeing, like, Elephants can push big time. Purple actually came over here, and red's got siege rams. So Dogal could have some problems. This is why he sent his king to Miguel's base earlier. Population's still close. Dogal can't stop this. Like, this is just much stronger army. Again, like, this castle denied some res, but it's so far away from his own base. So he has 2 castles, and they're separate from each other. And Rattans isn't working in the first place. So the best unit he can make isn't working, and he can't produce enough of them. And here goes yellow for the kill. Can Kingston actually, like, kill blue, or are they just going to hold against blue? The trade is starting for Onimaru. Paladins and Rattans are looping around, but, oh, man. Chukanu count. I'll give red some props. That's a nice recovery. Red almost choked this one really, really hard. And you know me, I always try and avoid saying someone's, like, choked or through. Even though we have the throw emote, which is maybe bad, but no, like, always try and give reasons for why someone would struggle. Okay, Palas are coming in to save the day. Miguel needs to have a really strong couple minutes here to give Dogal some support. Dogal might actually have to plan on units other than Rattans. He might have to plan on going, like, standard archers, like Arbalest or something. Yeah, his castle's down. But the Paladins clearing up a lot of the army. A lot of the Rams. And down here, we've got a castle from red, though. He'll take down Dogal's only castle. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Again, it's really tough to actually push the Turks if you're Teutons. Teutons was a very odd choice for me. Would have liked a lot of other civs here. Reminder, the kings are back in this tower. So Miguel and Dogal are safe. But the military count for Dogal needs to be improved. The military type for Dogal needs to be improved. What do you guys think about a Cav Archer switch from Dogal here? I think I prefer that over Arbalest. You can't go Ratsons anymore because your castles are going to be gone. So I would say play CA. It's very mobile. Still a lot of extra HP. I think it can be really good here. So many just like random rams trying to break into Purple's base. They're actually trading this way, which is weird. And I guess it's not so weird actually because they can't trade to the south. And Dogal's already walling this, yeah. So they're thinking long-term trade positions. And the longer Dogal can hold the south away from them, the better the trade's going to be for their team as they're able to trade from corner to corner up here. Dogal's Trebs are just chilling back here. He can't move forward with his Trebs because he didn't have any army. But Miguel's been his army. And Red lost almost all of his Chukunu and is switching into Pikemen now. Yeah, so Dogal and Yukid both not really on their range unique unit at the moment. Or a couple, but the Ratsons are actually here. The Halbs are coming down as well. I thought Red had a Treb at one point up here, but I think it got sniped as well. So that castle for Dogal stands for a lot longer. And now the Paladins are here for Miguel. Can you run into that choke against that many Elite Janissaries, though? 22 attack per hit. Even against Paladin, that's pretty damn strong. Feels like Miguel's debating on what to do there. Guys, when you're in the game, you're just thinking, and Purple's just got houses here, if you're wondering. Just houses and walls. When you're in the game, you're just thinking if you hold this position and Onimaru's position, you'll win. Because you have better trade. So, pushing is great, but like you don't necessarily need to. You just need to hold the position. So he didn't want to throw there. Because if you overextend, lose everything, then lose these castles, then they're into your trade, right? Yellow's going to switch to Hussars now, which is a sign he's running out of gold. He is trying to add the trade, which again is inefficient. And Dogal brings Bomber Cannons and Trebs to take Red's castle, and will still hold this position. Yep, I like Red's kind of out of steam. Is only spamming Pikemen. Doesn't have any other gold unit. And Yellow's trying to get a trade raid, and Kingston spots that and drops the market walls and already had the stone walls everywhere else. Hussars might still be able to snipe Kingston's Trebs, though. And without the Trebs, he might not be able to defend these castles super easily. Miguel wants to go through with these Paladins through the middle, and the Rams are going to be there for Kingston. Yellow, nice raids. Miguel's been taking that gold in the middle for a while. Nice raids there. But Red's about to have a castle problem again. And props to Dogal. Dogal built up to 90 army after taking some heavy losses. That's insane. Halbs felt obvious, but I don't mind the Imperial Skirm tech as well. And yeah, he can march right in. Yellow's going to be needed here. Yellow can't be everywhere else he needs to be then. And Kingston just repairing away. Just giving his team time. More trade carts and efficient positions. But the Elephants get through. Elephants actually get through. Paladins are going to have to run over there to deal with that. I think that Red needed, not necessarily even to push Dogal earlier, but Red needed to not be pushed early in. Red had a massive villager lead, lost the map control. That was where this game has fallen apart for them. I think in the north, I think everything Blue did was completely fine. Kingston's played really well at a civ disadvantage, but I think he's had a good game. Yellow's had a great game. But now Yellow's going to have Paladins in his eco, and they will probably find some of the trade back here. Kings are running. Kings are running. Oh, shoot. I forgot the king was in the tower back here. So Dogal's going back to his base. And, I mean, it was in that tower, so maybe Yellow's making a run for it. Good job from them to remember. King's going to come back to Miguel's base now. I would actually research guard tower at this stage. Yeah, trade is going down. So Miguel's got 34 trade carts, and they're working across the whole map. And then Yellow is losing all of his trade at the same time. Miguel's going to spam Paladins forever. And Yellow is going to have to mix in mainly Hussar soon. And Dogal, again, amazing job at recovery after he took a hit like that. Yellow's still getting into the trade a little bit. But they were just weak because they lacked a stone wall here and it was just houses. So that was kind of a rookie mistake, which they're going to fix now, probably. Paladin's still back here. Halb's even back here, too. So you can't even send elephants back. Yeah, yellow's down to 5 trade. That's so, so rough. See all the Paladins engage against the Janissaries. While the Janissaries do a lot of damage, they're also super low HP. So they're going to melt to the Paladins. And the Paladins are going to do exactly that. And Purple will try and position his units into the wood line. But he can't really get in there because the Bombard Cannon was blocking him. Yeah, he loses everything. Looks like red and yellow are pushing back here, which is true. There's still a castle there, though. And I think Dogao's going to be able to replenish this army. And I was just going to say there's still an army back in their trade. It's still not very efficient trade. And Onimaru win on ANKR's home map, which is huge. And I felt like the civs, Teutons is extremely awkward. I think Vietnamese are worse than Chinese in most of the game up until the mid to late Imperial Age. And again, don't want to point fingers too heavily here, but I think this is where it all started to fall apart for this team. Like, Yellow started to spam Knights in Castle Age because Dogao got this position, right? Like, Yellow's never delaying their Imperial Age if this doesn't happen. And so what I'm expecting is like right around here, when you're on 4 TCs with red, you just think, okay, I can't lose the map control. So I'm just going to make a little bit of army, hold the map. And like, he basically went 5 TCs. Dogao sees this. And Dogao's like, oh, okay. He's got literally no army and 2 TCs outside of his base. I'm just going to castle drop it. It was just such a stressing moment. I think if like the push they eventually ended up doing on Dogao is a little bit faster in the game and then red doesn't take unnecessary losses, then Miguel can't go to the north as much. And if Miguel can't go to the north as much, then I think Kingston eventually gets pushed by the Turks. That'd be my read on the situation. But easier said than done, of course. There's the KD. Miguel had a very good game. It looks kind of rough in the mid-game when he lost a couple of vills, but the core of his gameplay was sick. Paladins were awesome. He brought in more gold than anyone there. And Onimaru Barbetacos, up 2-1. All right, so game number 4 now, and this is the last home map for ANKR when they need to win this game. They win this game, we go into the 5th game, would go to Migration for the final game. But yeah, this is Team Acropolis. Players start very close together here, and so we've seen a lot of team walling up the top of the hill, and we've actually seen a decent amount of fast castling. And typically, at most, you're going to see 2 people go in for feudal age attack, but teams are just so far away from the other. If you can coordinate the walls, typically we don't see like too much feudal age pressure compared to maybe some other maps. I will say there are some good feudal age pressure civs here, though. We've got Miguel as the Hindustanis. So Hindustanis stable units take down buildings pretty quickly. Magyars, cheap scouts with extra forging, really strong there. And then over here we got Kingston. Kingston's playing as the Muisca, which I think he's just going to treat this as an archer option and play the archer role. Maybe he ends up playing into a unique unit or something, but I think this team really likes settlements because of how flexible it is for the early eco. Already, Kingston can just like take the gold and the wood from the same settlement, which is really, really strong. On the other team, we've got Blue. Blue's playing in the purple. As people continue to point out, I'm very sorry. Blue is playing as the Gurjaras. So I would expect scouts and then at long-term camels. And camels can be insane on this map because 2 out of the 3 players on the other side are probably going to be on stable units. Yukit's playing as the Wei. I'm assuming this will be for more of a Cav Archer style play with the Janbei units. And then in the red, we've got the Mayans. Could see fast castle happening, maybe plumed archers, but I think probably just a standard archer role. And red's already placed the mining camp, so it's definitely not going to be anything plumed archer related. I think plumes just take a little bit too much time, but long-term plumes are a great switch because this map is huge and regular foot archers are just so slow. Actually, is it Muisca that has the unique tech that makes their archers faster? Does anyone remember? We talked about this yesterday. I actually forgot about this tech. But I think it's like 15% faster archers or something. So I joked in the other game that we wouldn't see it because it was an Arabia game, but here I could actually see it. Because the games go late, and then later on, getting that tech could be really nice. Monkey Wine says, I feel like team games get more unique play than 1v1s. Well, there's just more possibilities, right? There's just more possibilities. I think 3v3 as well gives you a lot more variety than maybe a 2v2 or a 4v4. So I'm a big fan of the 3v3s. And I point this out a little late here, but double boar coming in here from blue. I think he got him from the middle. So you'll find boars on the sides too. If you look down, they might have already got them. Miguel didn't seem interested, but sometimes there's extra boars. Like there's a boar there. There's a boar here. I think it's only really worthwhile though if you're going to be going fast castle. You don't really need that much more food if you're not going fast castle. The blue disagrees. Yellow's not late to clicking up. Yellow's just not going fast castle. Or sorry, yellow is going fast castle. So this is yellow's plan. I don't hate it. I'm actually a little surprised to see triple feudal because a lot of the teams have not been going triple feudal on the other side. So it'll be stable from Miguel, stable from Dogal, and it's going to be archers from Kingston. At least, hold on, I'm assuming that. I don't see a barracks yet. Oh, wow, interesting. So because archers are just so slow, he's gone forward, and he's going to go double archer range forward. Wow, okay. So they're really going to pile on the pressure and try and end this quick. I mean, the coordination could be there. The scouts need to get here from the others, though. Scout's back here for Miguel, and Scout is over here for Dogal, so they didn't really work too well there. You don't really want them to spot the forward. I think they'll know at a certain point, though. In fact, even if you see the spearman at this time, I think you should recognize that there must be some type of forward. Because a forward spear from the archer player on this map is really weird. Now, you can't change your strat too much. So it's like, even if you know, you still just got to have purple go full army and support. But you're basically way less greedy about it, right? Like, look, okay, they see the vills now. Yeah, so if purple wanted to go, like, just a couple units and then full walls, now purple's got to go full army to support the ally. Because yellow could feel this. Yellow could die to all of this. And the vills are even rushing as well. That's crazy. To bring the vills in here is nuts. Spearman got an extra hit there. It's actually double camel opening, though. Wow, okay. So, yeah, you can make camels in feudal age with Gurjaras, which no one ever really does. It took me a minute to realize it was two camels there. But, yeah, the scouts can't engage easily. A nice start there. And the defense. Scouts are going to keep coming. They're still coming from across the map. There's a big defender's advantage here. Kingston lost one vill. So not a very clean start with the forward, but that won't matter if they can break one of these players. Seems like walls are going to be up, though. Yellow's going to have a stable. Yellow will get his blacksmith. And there's going to be all this army for Onimaru on the outside. It's not super easy for them to engage on vills. But having all the army out here when it's triple army versus double could be kind of bad if they could find the engagements. And that's what they're going for. Kingston's hoping to take down the camels. To be honest, Blue's micro was really good there, though. Look at the micro from Blue. That was so sick. He avoided so many archer volleys, and that is horrible for Onimaru. That might even be GG. Like, the KD's just so bad. They were never expecting the camel scouts. They expected to have standard scouts in there. KD at the moment, if I can switch to it properly, where is it? KD is 1 to 10 for Kingston, 1 to 4 for Dogal, and 0 and 3 for Miguel. And on the other side, 7 to 1 for Blue, 8 to 1 for Red, and 2 and 0 for Yellow. And Yellow has barely been making army. That's crazy. I mean, you can't go full feudal to kill your opponent and then take fights like that. That was the worst possible fight that could have happened. Sick job from ANKR. They're under a lot of pressure now. They just, in their minds, maybe through. Like that previous game that should not have gone that way in their minds. And so it's easy to let that still live in your mind a little bit. This is a little sloppy, though. Blue loses every single camel there. I think he's still a little distracted with chasing down some units on the backside. And yeah, they're definitely paranoid about this. Yellow can drop a house there, and yellow will be fine. The yellow might need to pull a couple more vills to wall that. Camels are still chasing. Oh, God, and Miguel gets through. Miguel actually gets through, and Blue's had a really rough minute or two. Like, this was the perfect start, and now everything is going wrong. Oh, God, more units coming in. More villagers are going to be exposed. At the same time, these scouts, they barely get walled out. But I think I just saw 6 villagers die in Blue's economy. So the pressure finally pays off. And archers for red are where exactly? Where are red's archers, guys? Am I that blind? Oh, they're over here. And the archers for Kingston could be walking around that way soon. So yeah, only 31 villagers now for blue. You see this villager queue? From my perspective, if someone's queuing up 13 vills, that's just like pure nerves, right? They can't really focus as much as they'd like. That's a crazy man's town center. You've got archers out here, and you don't know where they are, and you're going to place a TC there? That's wild. Kingston's actually not in that position, though. And if you get this TC down, then it's going to be fine. Chat, can you please stop suggesting that I say something other than whatever I'm doing right now? Because we've been through this like 16 times, and it's really starting to annoy me. And I know it's not always the same person, and I know you're either trying to be a joke or be helpful, but it's actually very annoying. We've already been through this. Regardless of what I do, it's probably going to be confusing, and I'm sorry. But I'm just trying my best out here, all right? Archer ranges go down for Kingston, so he's not going to have consistent army at all. And yellow's TCs go up. Yellow's going to mix in some Janbei's. It is just one archer range, which is a little uncommon. But the second one could easily come in, and there's going to be the second one on the front here, so. And I'd be telling my teammates, expect a lot of army from them, right? Like, usually you have consistent army production regardless. And now Kingston has 0 army production for a very long time. So this army's all just going to push forward towards this base. And they really need to be double and maybe even triple fortified. Stonewalling, house walling behind the palisades is all critical. They've got the house walls down on the front near Dogao's base. And Dogao is going to try and make a switch into cav archers. What's up, Delirio? Welcome. Good morning. 43 vills for yellow. We've got 41 for red on the way to Castle Age. Double range production, soon to be triple range production with the Mayans. It's exactly what the Mayans want to do. And blue ends up hitting the Castle Age at a very nice time as well. And can start to think about town centers. Miguel's going to be up the town centers here in a sec. But, I mean, if they march forward, these TCs could easily get spotted. They're taking some big risks right now with these TCs. Can someone tell me what the score was in the Suomi DS series? The reason I ask is because this morning, that was the first series of the day, and I was just, like, waking up and drinking my coffee. And it was 2-0 for DS. And then I thought it was going to be 3-0, and then the game went on for a really long time in Game 3, which makes me think... Okay, so it ended up going 3-1 for DS. Okay, so Suomi did claw that one game back. Thank you. I don't know what the fourth game would have looked like. Yeah, this is such a risky town center. Sometimes when you're behind, you feel like you have to take the risks and get away with it. But, like, I don't think this was a situation where you could be justifying moving out here if you're Dogao. That's really bad, man. Like, they needed more military on the map. They did not have it. The TC gets denied at 60%. Yeah, Ashman's, any team that loses is going to be eliminated from this qualifier because it's single elim. So Suomi would be eliminated, but there is a qualifier next week as well. So anyone who loses could try again next week, right? Just the game plan just completely fell flat. Like, they're continuing to try, but this is really close to GG tap out mode. Like, I don't see how you're supposed to stop this. The strat from Onimaru was to snowball an early feudal with 3 players. They lost their entire army against 2. And the rest of this is just all a result. I think the ANKR team is too good to let this one slip, too. They're doing all the right things. They have good economy behind this. Military production's perfect. Yeah, this is the town center Dogao needed. Again, if he gets away with that, that's a better TC. But that to me felt like it was pretty risky right there. We will have the castle here from Kingston. So he'll switch into some Guecha warriors now. I think Guecha warriors could be good, but like any unique unit, is it going to be good enough when your opponents have had no support for this entire time? I just don't know, man. That's 74 army for ANKR. It's 29 for Onimaru. Miguel can't take gold. Like this is GG territory. They want to fight on a little bit. Now the crossbows get in and get into Dogao's gold. Dogao can't take gold either. It's not really going to help the whole not having military thing if you can't consistently mine gold. I love as well they continue to keep their foot on the gas here. Like, Red's just now dropping the second TC. I'm okay with that. Because you're in a position where there's lots of potential for kills. You don't need to focus on adding the economy nearly as quickly here. You're already so far ahead. And yeah, I think we'll see the GG here. This is not a fight they're going to end up winning. All the units move into the golds. This is why, like, Onimaru Barbetacos, they're... Okay, did we lag there? Are we good? Am I dropping? Hold up. Chat, talk to me for a sec. Are we good now? I think I dropped for like 5 seconds. Or it froze or something. Yeah, no, that was on me. That was on me. I find this series... This has been a series where both teams have kind of had a couple blunders mixed in, you know? Neither team has played... Like, we've yet to have that game where it's been, like, super back and forth and super consistent from both sides. The previous game for ANKR, I had some question marks. Here for Onimaru, we have a couple question marks. Sometimes it's just kind of how it goes. Arizona Ranger says there's Cloudflare / AWS issues, so everything's kind of sketchy right now. Yeah, I don't know if that was that, to be honest. That might have just been my internet. But we can blame it on Twitch. Maybe Twitch servers are going to be weird as well. That was another bug I've experienced, so I don't know if it's them or not. Supplies! 5 gifted from Supplies. What's up, man? Thank you. Dodge's in the chat. Also, Elikin or Elkabin welcomes. Says T90. It's been a long time since I've caught a stream. He says, love your Unks videos. And I can't see the rest of the message because oh, it's right there. He says, when are they coming back? Soon. There's like 4 games I need to upload. Well, I need to record and then upload in the Unk journey. So I'm kind of I've been slacking on the Unk content. I recorded the thank you for 400k YouTube subscribers last night. That should be on YouTube soon. I debated about doing it during community games, but it felt more special to maybe just make a standalone YouTube video. And yeah, we'll have, like I said, we'll have more Unk content coming soon. It is hard for me to sit here and look at this game and say that Onimaru are anything but completely and utterly destroyed. They are taking risks everywhere they go. There's villagers exposed always. Like this town center from Kingston, another example of a TC that you just can't place because you don't have army, dude. And they finally tap out. And it's going to be the first best of 5 that I've seen go to a 5th game in these qualifiers in... Well, all my casting this week, guys. This would be a really good finish, hopefully. Nice recovery from ANKR. If it's me, I think there's frustration after how the previous game went and having your number 1 civ be the loss, and it could easily bleed into your decision-making and thinking here, but they played super solid. But I want to go back to the KD at like the 10-minute mark. This is kind of how this... It was right after this fight. This is where this game gets decided, guys. This is crazy. Dogao 1-4, Kingston 1-10, Miguel 0-3. And of course, on the flip side, Blue 7-1, 8-1, 2-0. Like, they went full feudal, lost everything against less army. And then, yeah, the result is once Yellow reaches Castle Age, Yellow's going to be in a crazy position there. So, all right. So, this is the home map for Onimaru Barbetacos. But unlike the typical situations where there's a home map, I don't actually think their civilizations are quite as solid, at least in my opinion. The one civ that makes a lot of sense over here is the Japanese for Kingston, right? A map with a lot of fish, a map with a lot of water. Japanese are top tier. That clicks. The pocket over here, we got the Malians for Miguel. I suppose the civ does click a little bit because you've got a discount on all your wood buildings. So, I mean, that can help you get the fish out and whatnot. And I think what many people are going to try and do is play like stable units in the middle. So maybe I'm kind of convincing myself that this civ is maybe fine. On the right side, Incas. Not necessarily a naval civilization, but you do have crazy discounts with wood savings, with the settlements, and the houses giving you extra population. So they're reasonable enough to think that they can be competitive on water in the early stages. On the flip side, we got the Sicilians for blue. Sicilians have a better navy than the Incas in the long run, but no early eco bonuses. Ukit has the Burgundians. The Burgundians can get Dark Age double Bidax, which is already in. Burgundians can then fish like crazy, and then the Burgundians could spam Cav in the middle. So I think Burgundians are top 3, maybe top 2 for this position on this map. I think it's the best, personally, but, you know, some people would say Chinese and other things. And then over here, you got Ryu. Ryu's playing as the Romans. Romans are fine. Romans are solid. 5% greater efficiency in everything they do. Their navy's also not top tier long term. And this map starts with rabbits. You can push rabbits a little bit. You can push them like 2 or 3 times. So they're able to push just far enough to get them underneath the TC. But if Ryu tries to push it one more time, it might run away. So yeah, a little bit of rabbit pushing, but nothing crazy. That actually makes it a bit easier on this map to get the fish out because you don't need to take fish right away. You can take some of the rabbits. Did I say fish? You don't need to take sheep right away. You can take a rabbit instead, which is a little bit faster. So, T90, invite your nephew to a 1v1 best of 9, destroy him, and assert dominance. Frederick, I think you missed the message. You missed the whole message of the whole me being an uncle thing. I'm not asserting dominance, and I'm not trying to, you know, make him feel inferior or anything. It was more so of a thing of like, I want my nephew to learn that, like, you know, losing's okay and getting a little bit hurt's okay. That's life. I don't want to like super baby him, you know, because other people in the family will baby him. So, like, another story on that is like, we'll like play some type of game, right? And so we're outside in the backyard. We've got a ball. And there's a hoop. It's not a basketball hoop, but some random hoop we made. And so, you know, he's like, let's play a game. And he creates a point system. So he's like, 2 points for this shot, 5 points for this shot, 50 points for this shot, right? And it's like this impossible shot in his mind. And so we're playing and he's winning. And then I hit the impossible shot. And I'm like, yeah, I win. And then he starts to look all upset because he just got beat in the last minute by his uncle, who he didn't think was good at things. And then he goes, no, rule change. That's negative 10 points. Ha ha ha. And then he smiles and he's like, oh, I won. Ha ha. And then he's like, let's play again. And I think he's used to, and then like with my parents, so like his grandparents or his mom, he's used to being able to say like rule change. I actually won. Right? And I go, no. You know what the rules were. I won that game. But we can play again. And he, like, froze because he was like, he'd never had anyone call him out. He'd never had anyone call him out. Everyone else was like, oh, yeah, he won. I was like, no, I won. That's my win. I hit the shot. And he was like, he froze, and he was trying to decide, like, okay, am I going to cry about this? What am I going to do about it? But then I'm like, yeah, but we just play again. And he's like, oh, yeah, losing's not that big a deal. We can just play again. Oh, okay. I could see the wheels churning in his brain. You know? I could see the wheels churning in his brain. And I'm like, so that's the type of uncle I'm trying to be, you know? It's like, when I say beat him at stuff, just basically teaching the basic lesson. Like, yeah, dude, you win and lose. It's whatever. It's not a big deal. So, how old are the siblings? Well, he's a single child. He's a single child. He doesn't have siblings. My siblings are way older. So yeah, I like being... We got a transport ship here from Yukit. What? Oh my god. Holy crap. Sorry, story time's over. Blue is transporting... He was going to build a dungeon here. We had the scout from the entire team, it looks like, picked up and brought over here. And the scouts killed a bunch of villagers because Loom was not in for Dogao because he was expecting this to be a water map. Dude, what a build. Now, these villagers didn't build the sergeants, or didn't build the dungeons, so sergeants can't come out yet. But that's some big damage there. There will still also be some Navy for Dogao, though, and in theory, Navy could still punish Red, but I think Red's also going to mix in some Navy. That's a really cool build order. And actually, the scouts are moving this way now. And it kind of looks like the scouts are going to go hit Miguel, and I think Miguel is realizing that. Miguel's built a barracks. Miguel's getting Loom. Like, Miguel's definitely a little worried about whatever pressure could come in here. The reason you don't typically see the transport is because the flank player needs to have these really tight builds, but the pocket player actually made the transport. So that was like pure teamwork. What I don't like for Blue, though, is that Blue didn't complete the dungeon, and Blue might lose all these villagers. But it throws Dogao off, and Dogao is currently chasing a fire, and there's just a lot of momentum right now, and Dogao's reacting, and it's not exactly where you want to be. Because I think he probably initially convinced himself that there was going to be a weird situation here where the flank wouldn't go water, but the flank's actually still going water as well. The fires come over this way, but Blue, who I get it, is in the red and is currently attacking Blue, which is very confusing and annoying for everybody. Blue loses those vills. So I don't know how good that actually is to have lost all three of those villagers. And Miguel is going to be in Castle Age pretty quickly here. He's adding scouts in the middle. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Again, that transport from yellow doesn't really do too much more. And the fires as well. The fires that came in from Blue. Technically, there's a blue and a red fire both on screen. That's going to get cleared. And so nice stabilization here from Onimaru. They didn't have the momentum early, but actually, they gained it right back, right? Like, you can see the downside of the strat. Red's Vill's just getting tossed away like that. It's kind of wasteful. And Dogao still has really nice economy and is building up a bigger navy right now. Because also the 3 fire ships got tossed away in the back for no real value. What we've got to pay attention to is... Okay, this is the next thing, guys. No Loom for yellow, and he's trying to get TCs up and build up in the middle, but scouts are already waiting. That's amazing for Miguel. That's so good. By the way, left side just kind of going... Both players going Navy and building up similar numbers. Ryu hasn't clicked up to Castle Age yet, which could make a difference. Miguel's going for TC2, TC3. And the scouts just continue to look around, but they are pretty weak. But saying that, so are some of the vills. So that's 1 more vill down. That's going to be 2 more villagers down there. The eco count for yellow is not going to be nearly as good, I think. Looking back to some chat about the story time now. Mara says, I think you learned him an important lesson. If you don't succeed, try again and don't avoid. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point. So, And he looks up to me because I'm real with him like that, you know? I don't like baby him, and I think he like appreciates that. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if I'm a little hard or something, but like for me, I feel pretty strongly about that. But I'm just an uncle. I don't raise anybody. I spend limited time with my niece and nephew, so I could only have a limited impact and try and be as supportive as possible. I think the issue here for ANKR is they're just lacking control kind of everywhere. They don't have a big Navy presence. Yellow is going to try and support a little bit on the right side. But the left side's going to be a real issue, right? The docks are going down here for Ryu. He's still 50 seconds away from Castle Age, and Kingston is just going to start taking down these docks. And this is really strong. In the current water balance, these docks go down so quick against Castle Age fires. So if you're late to the uptime or the Navy, it snowballs so much faster than it used to. Other aspects of water, it doesn't snowball as quickly. But this particular aspect is very strong. And the galleys for purple, it's going to be so tough to mass them up because you have to rebuild docks and invest wood into that. Perfect play from Kingston here. The sign of a good team, like Dogao had a really rough start. Tons of things were happening, but the other players just need to step up, right? And that's what Miguel and Kingston are doing at the moment. Fires are coming through here from yellow. Miguel's going to show up with a couple of his own fires to support Dogao. Dogao will be in Castle Age faster than red on the other flank here. So this is all trending Onimaru Barbetacos direction right now. And that's not even counting the amount of scouts and knights. It looks like we're getting some action in here from Miguel. Yeah, this is super clean from them. They're playing this like a home map. Deranged Ducky in chat says, as a dad and an uncle, the role of an uncle is to teach kids lessons through bullying. Dad is the role to teach the softer lessons. I am not bullying my nephew, okay? That is not my intention. That is not what you should have got from the story. Now, that's not you saying I necessarily did that, but thank you for giving me the dad and the uncle's perspective, because you are both. So, third TC coming up in the middle for Miguel. So that's a total of 4 town centers. And now the problem is all the Navy advantage they have on the left side just bleeds right into Yellow's fish. So Yellow's eco is going to be so far behind Miguel's now. And it's not going to get any better. So they're actually losing on land and they're losing on water. Usually it's either or. It's like if you win the water, you lose the land. If you take the land, you lose the water. But yeah, this is a problem right now. There's a lot of army activity from Miguel through the middle. It's made it look very easy. Has the monks even as well, ready to convert a couple Flemish militia. Gets the conversions and gets the monks right back to the town center to hide as well. Super clean. Red hoping to get any value here. Kill a couple fishing ships. Anything. So I guess it's not fair to say their tournament life doesn't end, but their qualifier life in this game doesn't end. And yeah, Yellow calls the GG as I say it because they are well and truly dead. They don't have any advantages here. Miguel's going to start pushing. And nice job from Onimaru Barbetacos. So I actually want to go back and look at the timing on that build and see. Because I feel like that transport ship had to come a really, really early time. Okay, so let's go back to this. I want you to look at this. Yellow goes transport ship at this time. This transport ship, it at one point went to the left. Like, I think this is way too much. Look how far this transport ship has to go. He goes transport ship before he even gets to a second fishing ship to go all the way over to purple, pick him up, go all the way back, now pick up red, gets the Vils, goes all the way over here. I mean, this is like a 5-minute journey, and then they get the reward. But look at the difference in the fish. So Yellow for such a long period there. In fact, I'm just going to go to the res collected at this stage, which is actually kind of deceiving because you do get lots of wood income from the Burgundians, so maybe it's not bad. But I was just looking at the total fish count. Miguel had 9 fishing ships versus 3. Now he's got 14 versus 9. So you do kind of slow yourself down in the pocket is kind of my point. But I guess if they just kill Dogao, it's fine. And they did damage versus Dogao, but then those 3 vills from red just died. And then they trickled in fires to the pocket, and they just all died as well. I think they should have kept all the navy on Dogao, and they should have built up the tower, and they should have just kept it simple. That's probably the way they would play it again if they had the choice. But again, props to Onimaru, because that was a lot happening at once. And in their practice games and everything, I'm sure that they never faced anything like that. So